Welcome to this week's review. In hindsight, a fairly busy week. Three trades taken, one winner, two losses, one full loss from those losses, one partial loss. And the winner was a full winner, was a 2R win. I think in the week, uh, not a week where price action was very clean. I think although an impulsive week, if you go back and look over this week, there were pairs that were very impulsive from, Tuesday even onwards, Tuesday, Wednesday onwards. Um, However, just not presenting entry opportunities as per my plan. And that's going to happen in some weeks. Look, there were some people who probably thought this was an amazing week. The market was running, but not correcting much to provide opportunity to get in before the next leg, kind of just going each day, kind of. So Thursday, Friday, I practically wasn't in the market in terms of even from a forecasting perspective, just because of the setups that kind of aligned with my plan. And so conditions that I don't really see as favorable. However, when there was opportunity, I think I was um, good. Well, I did well to forecast and execute on those. So all three trades met the plan. All three trades low risk. And so last week, I obviously took you guys through the revision of my trading plan, went through some key changes, and that was the end of phase two of the trade building protocol. And in my original intention coming into this year, I wanted to finish that phase two and then kind of optimize the protocol. However, kind of looking back at the purpose of it, which was obviously to develop discipline, I think an additional sort of takeaway or purpose of the whole protocol is to really show you that there's a difference between the types of setups in your plan, and it's not just about being able to follow a plan to the T. It's about how do you, in essence, use um, discretion in your plan and your execution that results in obviously long-term profitability. Because really, if I had to go back into a phase one of the protocol, which focuses on taking all setups, despite them being high risk or low risk, kind of just having to meet the plan, then I'm going to go through a painful 4 weeks of uh, taking trades, high risk trades when, I shouldn't be exposing, my capital to those kinds of positions, and being too conservative then in the latter part of that and taking low risk positions only, if the market does switch impulsive. And so for the time being, kind of reverting back to my old model of, testing the plan within controlled parameters. Before it was, every 20 trades I adjust. But I think from this trade building protocol, one of the key elements of it was being able to execute on the same plan for 4 weeks before you change anything. And what I found from this as well was that, over that 4 weeks, I do take plus minus 20 positions, just five. Well, given that there's like one reset in there, I think it's a bit less than that over 4 weeks. But that's going to be sort of dual requirements. So minimum 4 weeks, but then minimum 20 positions before I can then adjust my plan. So yeah, going in with it, this next 4 weeks of big intention is kind of just to refine my definition of high and low risk, given sort of this new plan and just trying to observe how it operates and what's kind of working from it, what isn't working. But I guess really just going then into a phase where I'm not really uh, discriminating, if I want to call it that, between, only taking high risk or only taking low risk or, just taking every trade that meets the plan. I am using a bit of discretion now, but largely kind of just sticking to the plan and wanting to get used to how this plan operates and not trying to use too much discretion. But I think what's cool about the refinements in this plan, if you did check out the last video, is that it's almost like there's more discretion in it, but I've built it in mechanically, which is really cool. And so even if I just follow the plan, it's almost like the plan protects me from low quality setups because of how it's set up. Um, yeah, so if you haven't checked out last week's review, make sure you do that. And so yeah, net P&L then, 0.25% technically profit, but adjusted for fees, comes just below 0.2%, which is, yeah, barely anything. What did I learn this week? Um, it's not to focus on the winners or losers within each session and really just focus on the next trading setup or you'll miss it. That was the case with these two positions taken on the same day, over two sessions. Check out the daily nuggets if you haven't, because yeah, well, when this recording drops, it'll be Sunday evening, Sunday the 2nd. The daily nugget posted the day before, that's the Saturday, would have covered those two positions. And then NZD CAD long, this most likely covered on the Sunday. So yeah, that was important there. And then also just realizing that small wins promote, relatively healthy mental state. And that was one of the reasons why I adjusted from a more discretionary approach to setting my TPs to now kind of just reining it in and, for a period, keeping it at 2%, 2R. And then as I build a buffer in profit, then I can still have that as a target level, but apply a trailing stop approach. Then the last thing, anything can happen. That was more so with this last position. It was running in profit. Full breakdown will come out on the Daily Nugget. Depends on when you're watching this. May have come out already. But yeah, very euphoric while that was in profit, and it was just so impulsive. And this thing was just gunning for TP, and my TP set at 2 hours. It's conservative, so wasn't that far away. And literally in the space of 10 minutes, well, not 10 minutes, it was like 30 minutes. But whatever, trying to exaggerate. Space of 30 minutes, this thing completely reverses and comes and stops me out at half risk. And there was a part of me that couldn't believe it, but the experienced trader in me should have, anticipated that anything can really happen. And in hindsight, there weren't signs at entry, but as the trade developed, it definitely showed signs that that was possible. And so coming into what is the most important thing I need to work on improving this week, kind of just building on that previous point, it's considering all probable scenarios, as this will definitely help with managing expectations. And the most important thing I should continue doing this week is developing a deeper understanding of my optimized plan, because I think there are some very important refinements in here that are going to work very well over time. And so I'm keen to see how, that translates into kind of data that I can work with as I continue to follow the plan and execute as per the plan and not deviate from that. And so yeah, coming to the account metrics, just for that transparency, you guys see it is all the same. End of Feb. And yeah, we're almost back where we started at the beginning of the year, because see Jan was literally up about just over $1,000. Feb down about the same amount. So break even for the year, which yeah, is understandable given I was finishing phase two, so there was a lot of setups I wasn't taking in terms of those high risk sort of variations. But I think there were, yeah, a lot of inefficiencies that I was kind of rooting out, and the daily nuggets have helped a lot with that. And this revised plan will hopefully help with that going forward. And so I think if there are any improvements that will materialize, it's going to be from this point onwards. And so kind of just trying to stay patient with the outcome because I know that, I'm putting in the work regardless, and that work is going somewhere. And I don't think there's been enough time to see the effects of that work. But regardless, the work has been put in. And so, yeah, we see how we end off this quarter, heading into April, March, I mean. 4 full trading weeks is a very long time. A lot can happen in, these 4 weeks. And yeah, let's see how the month will unfold. Remember, guys, consistency is the choice you make when you start doing the things you should be doing day in and day out.